coins are a little more volatile. So, you know, they typically follow Bitcoin. So I might even go ahead and see what the trend is with Bitcoin and then also the altcoin. They're going to be similar, but I'm going to look at the trend and then I'm going to place my buys. I'm going to build a 20 SMA again, but I'm going to have it on the 15 minute. So the first SMA is going to be a daily SMA for the last, I think 20 days, maybe 15, 20 days. We'll figure it out when I get there, test it out. And then the second SMA is going to be a 15-minute SMA for 20 periods or so. And the reason I'm going to put this SMA in is because this one is going to determine where I'm going to buy at. So one determines which way we're buying, if we're opening as a short or a long. That's the daily one. And then the second parameter I'm looking at is the 15-minute SMA, and that's where we'll place our bids. I'll probably place 2 buys, and they're going to be above and below that SMA. So pretty simple strategy. I'm not going to use a stop loss. I'm going to use a kind of just a stop loss in the sense of size. So I'm not going to make my positions too much. I will use some leverage. Let's go ahead and see what I have here. So I only have $100 in my account, and that's probably good because, you know, this is a new strategy. But once this strategy proves itself, we can go ahead and level this up to probably 1,000, 2,000. I like to diversify. I have tons and tons of strategies, so I try to keep it in the low thousands, and then you can scale with other strategies. But that being said, let's just dive into it. I've got this great cup of coffee here, so I'm sorry if you hear me slurping a little bit. It's my favorite coffee, and I'm gonna need it because we're building an algo here. We're building it from scratch. I think I went over everything. You know the strategy. Look at the trend from the SMA. We're gonna do the 20-day SMA. And then we're gonna place our buys or shorts, our buys or sells to enter along the 15-minute SMA. So we need to create 2 SMAs. That'll be one of the first things we need to do. I'm gonna use CCXT, which is a library in Python, and I'm just gonna get started because I think this is gonna be good. A lot of people are scared right now. Like, this is a downtrend. I personally think, I'm not gonna make any opinions. You know, from my eye, it looks like it's gonna bounce. But that being said, if it doesn't bounce, this is where humans go wrong. Like, if it goes down here and it starts falling, if I keep thinking it's gonna bounce, I would keep longing it. But I just want my code to do it for me because at the end of the day, if I program this strategy or whatever strategy I do run, then the code runs it and it is what it is. You take out the emotion. For example, like, I'm sure you've been in a strategy, in a trade before where it's like you're in a winning trade and you just need to close it out. And if you closed it, you would have won. You could have walked away, enjoyed your day. But what happened is you have emotion and you think, hey, this might go a little higher or I might make a little more. And then it turns around on you and you lose it. So that type of stuff happens all the time, and I just want to avoid that. That's why I'm an algo trader, and I just code all my algorithms in order to trade for me. So let's just dive into this. This might take a bit, so please do stick around. I'm gonna show you a lot, and like I said, I'm just a normal dude, and I want to show you that this is not like rocket science. So let's make all our imports here. Let's import CCXT, which is the library I'll be using. Let's import NumPy. Let's import my don't share config as DS. This is pretty much a configuration file with my keys in it. Let's go ahead and import date time for sure. Let's import date, and I'm doing this live, so I don't see many people do this on YouTube, but if you appreciate it, this transparency, just go ahead and smash that like button. Okay, so I imported all of these things. It looks like I need to go ahead and pip install some of these. pip install date. Let's see if that works. Nope. Pip install date time. And you're gonna see like everything. You can see like I'm gonna run into errors and stuff, and let's go ahead. I'll have to Google stuff along the way, of course. Let's go ahead and I'll handle that later if I need it. I'm just gonna mark them out for now. Import date. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. Import time and schedule. Okay, now we need to connect to our brokerages. So how are we gonna do that? I'm gonna type in Pheemix equals ccxt dot Pheemix, and then get some curly brackets, and let's do enable rate limit, and that will be true. Okay, and then API key. Let's go ahead and, you know, here yours might look like that, but I'm actually calling it in from this file that I called DS. And let's find the key here, and then the secret. So CCXT is pretty cool because it connects to all exchanges, all crypto exchanges pretty much. So Coinbase, Binance,